Massive fan of St Mirren. I think Stephen Robson's one of the best managers in the country, and he thoroughly deserved to win yesterday. But it was so alarming how superior they were to Celtic in that second half. I mean, again, with all due respect, it's St Mirren. I mean, Ayunga was great, but it's Ayunga and in Lundelu. I mean, I don't know. Like I say, I was very alarmed by how much better St Mirren
were. The best players on the bench. I mean, the main man, Mandron, has been sick before long, but he can start. I mean, Celtic, man for man, should have enough to beat St Mirren 9 times out of 10. Listen, they've struggled against them the last 4 games now. I mean, a defeat Sunday, and the last 3 games have been last-minute goals. To see them off, I'll take a draw in the last game of last season, and then the both games this season have been last-minute winners. So they've had problems against St Mirren all season. But if you match up man for man, Celtic have still got an expensively assembled squad that should be better man for man, but they weren't.
Not even close to it.
What's the reason for that?
You mentioned earlier, Mick, that Martin O'Neill was speaking today on the radio about his time in charge as interim manager of Celtic. Obviously, Graham, one of the interesting points was Mick mentioning that he didn't even speak to Nancy. I was pretty blown away by that, he only spoke to him for 15 minutes. What did you make of that?
I was surprised as well, just for the reasons that Mick outlined. I think it's this unique, it doesn't happen often in football, that you get the chance to sit down and talk. But if we're being honest, if we've looked how the last 10 days, 12 days has unfolded, I think it's quite clear that Wilfred Nancy's got his own idea what his Celtic should look like. But I totally agree. I think that was something that kind of stood out. I think you can tell that Martin O'Neill was very gracious as well when I think the callers piled on, and he was basically just asking for a bit of time for the manager. And I think it's a balance for Martin O'Neill as well, because I think he is genuinely conflicted by the fact that I think the permanent gig was a big ask for someone of his age, right? Even though he looks very sprightly. With that, he said it as well. I thought it was dead interesting, the fact that he mentioned that the Nottingham Forest gig ended in a bit of a whimper. And I think this has been him coming to terms with his own, just kind of righting some wrongs in his own managerial career. So there's probably that expectation to keep on going. But I do think I would have tried to keep Martin O'Neill in the building for at least a week, and fed him snacks and just fired away questions, because there's no reason that there can't be enough questions. There's not enough questions out there that you can't ask. This is quite clearly a team, as Mick's also said, that transfer windows have been going awry for the last 2 windows. There's issues all over the pitch. Why would you not someone of O'Neill's experience really exhaust every avenue of question that you can get out of it? Because what we've got here is, it's so clear that Brendan Rodgers' time was coming to an end, and it happened very abruptly. O'Neill does the caretaker job of all time, comes in, rights the ship. I think it would have shown a bit of humility just to find more answers than what we've got, because what we've got here now is a very defined style of playing football, and it's jarring with what had happened before. But that's on everybody as well. That goes beyond the manager. I think those above him really need to look at the way this was handled, organised. You think as well, someone made the point as well, could you imagine if Nancy's first game was the Hibs game at Easter Road? That was a challenging game for Martin O'Neill. That would have been a tougher one. You could be even, listen, Dundee at home as well in that mix, but it's been a really talented time. But I think for the manager, I think it was a misstep not to take more time with Wilfred Nancy. You're up there all the time, Mick. I don't know if there's any good cafes, etc., in the Rolling Hills, Easton Bartonshire up in Lennoxtown, but I think there should have been more time spent, because I think it would have helped everyone involved.
There's a wee cracker up by Fintry, another 20 minutes drive. The courtyard up in Fintry. Any freebies would be great if they receive, but lovely little farmhouse cafe thing up there. Very nice for a wee coffee or a wee bowl of soup. A scone. That's my life these days. Used to be nightclubs, now it's a nice wee afternoon tea.
If they're listening, please get in touch. That'd be great.
Nice wee scone with jam. I like a scone.
Sponsors available.
Yes. I thought I'm talking about scones and jam here. I've lost my train of thought now. I fancy a scone. I mean, there was never going to be an easy time for it to come in. I mean, you look at even after this game, you think, well, coming after the cup final, it's Tannadice Wednesday, Aberdeen Sunday, into the Christmas period. It's never going to be an easy point in time. And managers always want to get in the door and do that. They always have self-belief to go in and do the job. I just think making such big changes in week one, I think was just a bit silly, really. I think it was because, I mean, there's everyone. I get that he's got his own style he wants to play, but listen, you might have a penchant for wearing high heel shoes, but I'm not going to squeeze my size 11 trotters into a size 4s. You know what I mean? You have to work with the wardrobe you've got. You know what I mean?
Aye.
That's probably a really bad analogy. It's me in a rather dubious light.
Caught me a bit off guard. I'm just picturing your size 11s trying to fit into a high heel.
Aye. Maybe stand in the back, past the bears. He like to get a bit dragged into through the years. You know what I'm saying? But you've got to adapt to what you've got at your disposal. And that's what top managers do. You look at what you've got and get the best out of what you've got. And I keep saying it. I mean, I can't understand why you have to kind of reverse engineer it. You have to say, what have I got? What can I play? Not what I want to play, then make that fit. Because in Sunday, let's be honest. I mean, I think you've got to give this guy a chance. I think I keep saying it. I like the profile. I think he could potentially be an exciting manager for Celtic. I think if he came in June, had 6 weeks with the squad and brought his own players in, I think it's a different issue. But I also look at that second half on Sunday, and there's at one point it was James Forrest playing centre mid. Like you say, there was Liam Scales apparently outside left. They've got, I mean Kobe Donovan at centre half. Dyson Maida was number 10 playmaker at one point. And you're thinking, what? I mean, it genuinely looked like a works team when nobody really knew who played where. And you go, I'll bring my wee pal. He can play. Where does he play? Doesn't matter. We just need bodies. Just need numbers.
Good.
It was just throwing people on the park. And I mean, look, McCown was over asking where he was meant to play. And I mean, Callum McGregor's countless of times across again, working out where they're meant to be. And you think that is overcomplicating things. It's like some of these guys are very good players. And it's been despite having so little time, and they look a bit overcoached and over too much information to take on board. And by the way, there's language barriers in that team as well with Celtic as well.